And then I'm going to end with the interloop on the east side. Because that's not a current need. We have a lot of traffic certainly in Brazos County today, but that's not something that needs to be done like this year or next year. What we're doing right now is a study to determine where that should be located. The MPO has done a preliminary study and they drew a line on the map showing the significance of a east loop, but it's not accurate because nobody knows exactly where that thing will be. The only way to determine that is with a full-fledged study. And when the study's complete, a route will be identified that meets all state and federal criteria, and just as important for me, and I know for Mr. Condola, it not only meets all that criteria, but it's a route that impacts the fewest people. And that's really my goal is to identify a route that in the future, when the need is there, that it would actually be a single route that everybody knows that this will be where that future east loop would go. Hopefully it won't go through any existing neighborhoods. That's what Commissioner Condola and I've been working on to try to make sure that it impacts as few people as possible. But once we're at the end and that route, that single route, however wide it is identified and goes all the way through vetting of environmental and everything, then TxDOT then can lock that pathway down and keep future development from occurring in its path. There are some that believe that there's no need for a future loop, another east loop. But I can tell you in 1972, the population of Brazos County was 65,000. 72, the significance of that is that 72 was when TxDOT opened up what we call Highway 6 now. And as a young guy, back in 72, I wanted to see what all that ranch land that they'd gone through, and so I started on the north end of it and drove all the way to the south end, and I remember distinctly that I met two cars all the way along that thing. And I thought at the time, I mean, you know, Rush Limbaugh used to say, the young skull full of mush. You know, at that time I thought, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. You know, who in the world would build this road out here in the middle of nowhere? Nobody's gonna drive it. Texas Avenue wasn't congested. The worst thing about Texas Avenue at the time was that it was its traffic lights weren't coordinated or anything. So it may take you a little while to get up and down the thing, but congestion on Texas Avenue was not a problem. But they had leaders back then that had to have started back in the 60s, that somebody started planning, and they knew that Brazos County, they believed that Brazos County was gonna become, you know, instead of 65,000, 240,000 today. And if you didn't have leaders that were looking forward to something like that, we would have, I'd hate for us to all be driving down Texas Avenue today without Highway 6 there. And for current needs, TxDOT is planning to add a lane going each direction. So that's on the books right now. They're planning to do that. I don't know exactly when, but probably the next couple of years. And that's for today's traffic, not for what's going to happen in the next 10, 15, 20 years. So I believe that there is a future need for a east loop. And I would encourage you, if you plan on being around here, hopefully we'll all will, but the next 15, 20 years, and you think transportation is important, keep an eye on what's going on with the study. We'll be bringing forth, as it moves forward, we'll be bringing things forward for people to look at and take a look at it. And if it's something you think that the county is going to need in the next 15 or 20 years, you know, respond back to it. I ask all these things. I appreciate you again, everything you do. Thank you, Ben, for always being the MC. Great.